Okay.
Yo,
Welcome back to the Street Shaman Podcast. We're gonna try this shit one more time. I am your host, Shamanic Poe, aka Poe and the Rockstar. Today I'm here with rapper, CEO of Lyrical Snuff Productions, right?
yes, sir.
Scum. How you feeling, my guy? We tried
Feeling
yesterday. What
fucking good.
happened, man? What happened yesterday?
Man, okay, so we were fucking on the highway somewhere by Chicago and shit. This fucking semi flipped over, motherfuckers died. So they rerouted us to the small ass highway and shit, fucking, and then they closed that shit down because somebody was impatient. Motherfucker died too. So we were stuck there for like 5 hours, sitting fucking unmoving, no food, no water, no bathrooms and shit, fucking no internet. Shit was fucking booty. And then
Uh,
today we were crossing to another time zone, so we're in Cleveland. Obviously, fucking much better internet, but um, I had my time zones fucked up and shit, and I thought, that we were going to start this 2 hours ago when I was sober.
right.
Didn't quite work
You
out.
were sober.
Mhm.
It's all good. No, I actually, we could have just switched it up. We could have done something different because you actually have a show tonight. Right? What venue are you in Cleveland right now?
The what, brother?
Huh?
I didn't hear the last bar the car was passing by.
No doubt. What venue? No, what venue are you?
We're at Shadows in Cleveland. And shit, the fucking home spot for Cody Manson. He actually helped us organize the show, but he
Oh,
is at the gathering holding it down for the L right now and shit. And we're in his hometown, fucking
right,
traumatizing the bartenders and fucking being assholes.
right. Shadows. I never been to Shadows. Like I used to live out in Cleveland for a little bit. I never been to Shadows though. So
Shadows is
yeah,
pretty cool. We always used to fuck with Odeon. Shadows is way more underground and shit. They let you get away with a whole lot more dumb shit that we like to do. So, you know,
right. Because there's like certain venues that don't wanna like they don't wanna fuck with like the underground scene at all,
no,
right?
you know what? No disrespect to the Odeon. They do fuck with the underground and shit. They're cool as fuck. But for some of these underground shows and shit, you don't need a fucking 1,500 seater and shit. And, you kind of want to fucking just have a fucking underground party, make it more affordable for the fans because the bigger the venue, the more the cost. The cost gets passed on to who? The
Right.
fan. You know what
Right,
I'm
right,
saying?
right. And it's gonna be like $25 tickets. You know, nobody want to do all that.
Right. Versus you do a smaller spot and you can do $12 pre-sales and shit, and motherfuckers is cool with it.
Yep. You're right. So, what got you started with all this shit, man? Because I know you're an OG in this. I know we just finally really met, but I know you're an OG in this underground scene. What got you started? Like, try to take me back a little bit. Take me to '90s.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to the '90s. Okay, um, I moved from Moscow, Russia in '94, '95, like right around that time and shit. And I was doing I didn't speak no fucking English and shit, so I was doing grindcore, which you didn't really, as long as you can growl and scream and fucking, what I'm saying, come up with a fucked up concept and shit. Songs were super short. We'd do like 30 fucking track, 16-minute fucking tape. You know what I'm saying? Like we're having fun with it. We always did offensive music. That never changed and shit. But
Right.
then I felt we did 3 albums and shit. We had this grindcore little collective and shit called Down Syndrome. It was a side project of Yeast Infection, Dismembered Fetus, Festering Puke, fucking all sorts of fucking different like disturbing grindcore collectives. And
Right.
right around like '98 and shit, we dropped our last cassette. And I
Okay.
always appreciated, as far as hip hop and shit, like what got me into it. I liked rap, but I didn't like the mainstream aspect of it. And then
Mm,
I discovered Body Count and shit. So big shout out to Ice T for fucking, what I'm saying, creating a bridge between the metal kids and the fucking rap kids.
right.
Body Count was a big fucking game changer for me. Isham, I heard Closed Casket. I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 6. I was like, oh, this motherfucker's on some devil shit and he's spitting. So, man, like
Right.
that shit was cool as fucking shit. Onyx was a big influence for me. Old school Brother Lynch Hung. Um,
Right.
fucking later, like when my English got better and shit, like as far as my personal top three and shit, it's Isham, fucking Brother Lynch Hung, and Vinny Paz. Well, Vinny Paz learned to appreciate later in life and shit as my English progressed and I could actually understand the bars that he was spitting.
Right.
But it was a lot of that crossover shit. I mean, even like Anthrax doing shit with fucking Public Enemy, I'm the law shit.
Right.
um, I was like, metal and fucking rap have similar roots. It's very fucking bass and drum aggressive and shit. The content is
Hmm.
fucked up and shit. You want fucking people to wild out and fucking feel the energy. So
Right.
we converted to a lot of the shit And I was like, cool, we want to do some rap, but like the whole general concept between when we first started and shit, and it was the group called Denver Lowlives. And we started like right at the end of '98, and the whole thing was to offend. Basically, the goal was it's a fucking warm, sunny day and shit. Motherfuckers are enjoying it. They're out with their family. They pull up to a red light and they hear my shit playing. You see all the windows go up, even if their air conditioner is broken. So that was. I just wanted to shit on people's feelings and shit, and then that never really truly changed. I just got more lyrical with it. But other than that, I mean, I just like to rub people the wrong way outside the bubble. I feel like
Why?
the bubble.
Hold on, Scum. Why do you want to rub people the wrong way? Is it just like, is it like sort of like shock value, and it's kind of like an inner laugh for you? Do you laugh like when you make your rap? Do you laugh like me? I laugh. I write some shit that's hard. I laugh. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I do, but I feel a big part of it and shit is like fucking giving the outcast something fucking to fire back with. Like horrorcore scene is very non-judgmental. We pretty much we accept everybody and shit. It's like, what I'm saying? We don't care what fucking race you are, what religion you are, what fucking gender you are and shit. Just fucking, if you fuck with this shit, you're in the bubble. If you don't fuck with this shit, you're outside the bubble and we're pissing on your head from the roof. So that was always what fucking I appreciated about our scene and shit. Like horrorcore scene is filled with broken people, man. Like straight up fucking victims or predators, fucking addicts or dealers, fucking like people don't start listening to fucking happy anthems like cut her from the pussy hole up to her throat because they had a fucking great life. When I'm having a great day and shit, and I wake up and fucking I'm cuddling wifey and she makes me breakfast in bed and we might do some things and shit and fucking, the sun is shining, birds are chirping. I'm gonna listen to some fucking reggae or some fucking, Caribbean guitar shit.
Relaxing shit, some ska. Right, some ska, some shit that relaxes you, makes you feel like for me, I want to feel like I'm on a beach. When I'm like relaxing, I want to feel like I'm on a beach. But there's those moments where you want to get aggressive, you want to listen to some wild shit.
The problem is life, 90% of the time, life fucking shits on you a whole lot more than it feeds you fucking cookies. And then on top of that, the people that are really into horrorcore, their life usually shits on them even more than the average. Yeah. And so there's a whole lot more negativity, and we're the soundtrack to that negativity. We're like, hey, like life is not that bad. Cool, you got fired today. You got an eviction notice and shit. Your chick cheated on you and broke up with you and took the kids. But you could be on a meat hook dangling from your ball sack. And motherfuckers are like, right, it's not that bad.
Right.
So we're here to make it light-spirited and cheer motherfuckers up,
No doubt. So you've been on tour. You're like on the last leg of tour now, right?
Yes, sir. Last week and shit. Fucking tour number 22. Deuce. Fucking
damn. That's OG. That's OG status right there. I got like 4 under my belt. I got like 4 little tours under my belt.
I legitly fucking, what truly fucking felt like, earning my OG status and shit was as of this year and shit. I have literally, like, I'm not even counting the grindcore years, but as far as Lyrical Snuff Productions and fucking this label and this horrorcore fucking shit, 21-year anniversary. So 21 years, I'm 41. So more than half of my life has been actively involved in this fucking genre. Once you give more than half your life to something and shit, you're dedicated and shit. You can get some stripes.
Right. I mean, I dedicated more than half my life to rapping, but I didn't get to do the touring. I'm from Jersey, and Jersey is like, why would I go somewhere else? Because we're from New York, like basically outside New York City. You're like, why do I go somewhere else? And that's too far. Most people like, and 2 hours away, 2-hour drive, that's too far. I had to do it by myself, Scum. I had to be like, fuck my friends, fuck everybody that was rapping with. I had to go by myself because no one else was gonna do it, bro.
You know what? The struggle and like fucking swimming against the current is a good thing, man. Like I feel if it was easy and fun and motherfuckers are like, yo, I can just drive for 15 minutes and they're gonna feed me a bunch of free drugs and there's gonna be fine bitches lined up to blow me and shit. Everybody would do it. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking when motherfuckers train for sports and shit, like it's pain. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's a lot of fucking paying dues, and it weeds out the weak ones and shit. Fucking, it's the same thing with underground music, man. That shit is not for everybody, man. Like, you got to pay dues and shit. Our early fucking tours, like my first couple of tours and shit, motherfuckers was staying fucking 7 deep in a fucking cheap motel room. The fucking spot in the tub was the hot spot because you got some privacy and shit. Fucking
Right.
artists, staff, everybody was getting paid like $15-$20 a day and shit. And that builds character, and it weeds out. Like I said, it shows dedication. But like, do you really love that shit? Cats ask me all the time and shit. They're like, yo, you know, how do you get into this rap shit? And I'm like, please don't. Like, there's better ways to fucking, you know,
right. Like, once you're like neck deep in, you're like, well, I'm not gonna turn around and go back. I might as well keep going because I've been doing this shit for umpteen years. That's what happened to me, because it's like, I've been rapping since I was a little kid. Why would I ever, like, to me, I'm like, why would I ever stop? Stop? Where?
No,
how? Why?
But that's your passion, brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you appreciate, I always tell motherfuckers, like, if you enjoy the process, and money is not really the main factor in shit, and the stardom is not a main factor. It's cool when you fucking get to play a nice venue. It's cool when motherfuckers like get your signatures tattooed after the shows and you get a fucking fat bag after the show. Doesn't always happen. And as long as you enjoy it regardless and shit, then it's for you. And 100%. Like, pandemic fucked up a lot of things for everybody, but there was 2 things that I was really thankful for. One, it fucking lit a fire under my ass and shit, and I was at the crossroads, and I was trying to decide, you know, because big part of my fucking income was running these concert halls and shit. I got a venue in Denver. I own a piece of a venue in Grand Junction. Well, all that money dried up. You know what I'm saying? Big chunk of my income comes from touring. That money dried up. So I was like, yo, like, so do I get a fucking normal job? Because I'm not picky, man. I got kids to support and shit. Like, if I got to fucking pay bills, I got to pay bills. Or do I fucking, you know what I'm saying, like, really, really, really go full time with this music shit? And I did. And I was like, you know, I'm going to try this shit out. And we're doing 70 hours a week at the fucking studio, 6 days a week. We're in that motherfucker and shit, slanging features, doing Patreon, doing fucking cameos, doing fucking, you know what I'm saying, intros, shout outs, fucking audio drops and shit. I did 100 songs in fucking 10 months. And I managed to fucking support my family doing this fucking underground horrorcore shit. No, we don't live lavishly and shit. I don't have a fucking big house or a new car, but I was able to take care of, you know what I'm saying, everybody that needed to be taken care of and shit, and still do what I love. And I was very thankful for it. To me, the pandemic and shit, occasionally, you know what I'm saying, like fucking, it's like evolution and shit. Life occasionally got to throw a fucking purge at you. And so I feel it weeded out a lot of fucking those rappers that were like, yo, I'm just doing it and shit because it's cool. And I'm going to get bitches and do some drugs. And then they're like, oh, it's not that cool because there's no shows and bitches ain't pulling up and there's no money and the fucking drugs you still have to pay for. So it weeded out some of the herd. And sometimes you got to weed out the herd. I believe in population control and shit. And in rap, that was
a little bit. Control. Right. A little bit of population control should be necessary. You're one of the only people that I actually seen tour through the pandemic as well. Like, you went down to Texas and did some shows and shit. I was like, that's what I'm fucking talking about.
That was offered. I literally, like, I was very clear about fucking my outlook on the whole situation. I was like, yo, I ain't scared. Granted, like, you know, when the shit was really cracking and shit, would do a show, would come back, and like Lynch, who is my manager and fucking Road Dogg and who's done every tour that I've done and shit, would fucking camp out at the fucking LSP office and shit for a fucking, like, you know, week or 2 and shit, make sure we didn't get our fucking families sick. But we did every show. Like, we literally, I think we booked 20-something shows, one-offs during the pandemic, and out of those, not counting the Texas shit was already this year, but as far as like last year, I think 8 out of 20 panned out and shit, and the other ones got fucking, you know, the venues got shut down and all that. But somebody would hit us up, be like, yo, we got the show coming up and it's going to be kind of illegal. And we're like, yep, sign me up. You know what I'm saying? We would be there.
Right. Shit, if I had those offers, those hit me with those offers. Whoever's listening, whoever wants to pay attention, you want to hit me with some offers like that, some illegal shows in your house, we could do whatever the fuck, man. I'm down.
Motherfuckers are like, yo, we got this warehouse. It doesn't have a liquor license and shit, and the neighborhood occasionally gets shut up. And, you know what I'm saying, like, fucking, we really don't have no permits, but we're going to pay you and we're going to fly you out. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'll be there.
You know right. I actually seen some shit like that online. I had somebody to hit me up through the DMs and everything on IG saying, like, they were just setting up their fucking living room they just had their living room set up for the show. Like the living room, I could tell it was like that's somebody's living room, and they just rocking out.
Bro, going back to our old tours and shit, like some of the funnest shows we've ever done, like true underground shit, was fucking house parties.
Right.
I remember like Buffalo, New York and shit. Fucking, there used to be this fucking old fucking creepy house. The homies lost the house, which sucks and shit. But like we did a few fucking tour stops there, and it was wild. Fucking, you know what I'm saying? Obviously no rules, obviously no fucking pigs, obviously, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever goes goes. But those were some fun ass shows and shit. Remember we did a house party in Appleton, Wisconsin and shit. Motherfuckers was jumping to the set and the floor caved in and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Fucking like things like that. That's what makes you that's that real underground shit. I'm not the type of motherfucker to be like, it's a safety hazard for my headlining status, and I would like to collect a refund, and my attorney will be contacting your management. Like, I'm like that, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? If there's fucking, if there's a show and shit, and I'm an entertainer. People always ask me, they're like, are you a musician? Are you a rapper? Are you an artist? I'm an entertainer. My job is to fucking pull up and fucking make motherfuckers have a good time and shit. Motherfuckers are having a fucking rough life, rough day, fucking, you know what I'm saying? And we fucking make them forget about it for a day and shit and enjoy themselves. And that's what I do. So I don't care where we fucking entertain them and shit. And legalities obviously was never really a big concern of mine. So we just do it.
Right. You know, I definitely did. I did my share of house party shows as well. Like one of the last ones that I did was beautiful too. Like it had fucking cowboys. There was some ratchet dudes, gangsters from the hood. There was like, you know, some people from the back streets, some people from the Cowboys came out in their pickup trucks. It was just crazy, and we still performed, rocked out. Everybody had a good fucking time. Got super drunk. There was like bags of pills and shit. I'm sorry, but you know.
No, it is what it is. You know, Gino Cull shit from Dark Half said one thing years ago and shit that fucking I will always remember, and I use that as my motto and shit for these underground shows and for my appreciation for the horrorcore scene. And he said, "Crazy can't judge crazy." And that shit really stuck to me because I'm like, yo, like it is true. You can have some cowboys and some gangsters and shit and fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care, fucking, you know what I'm saying? You could be a fucking satanic fucking crossdresser and shit. That's cool. If you're fucking with us. Motherfuckers, you know, with the whole cancel culture and shit, like motherfuckers sometimes and shit, they're like, well, you used to say a lot of fucking negative gay bashing shit in your old songs. And I'm like, sure, fuck did. Don't ever deny it. Do I now? Absolutely not. But the difference is, A, I grew up. B, that we're outside the bubble. When we started doing horrorcore in the 90s and shit, the gay community did not support horrorcore. And so it was like, you know, no different than the Christians and the fucking, you know what I'm saying, the rich white people and shit. Like, we shitted on all of them and shit. Fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck your feelings and shit. The second some of the homies are like, well, yo, I'm from this scene and shit, but I fucks with this. We stopped because fucking, and it wasn't because society told us. It's not because you can cancel me. It's impossible to cancel somebody that fucking raps about putting babies in a blender. You know what I'm saying? Like, either you fuck with it or you don't.
It's a rap. Like, you already said everything that's like, you know, that you could possibly say to get canceled. So like, if you're gonna cancel me now, like, you're fucking late.
Either you're cool with it or you're not cool with it. I've been against the current for fucking 21 years. But at the same time, like, I would never, ever, ever disrespect somebody that supports our fucking scene. I'm a firm believer is once you're in the circle, you're welcome. It doesn't matter gender, sexual orientation, race, none of that shit. If you're fucking with what we do and shit, we got your back 100%. If you're on the outside, fuck yeah, I'm gonna fucking shit on your porch and set that shit on fire. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Right. So, you're saying about how, and that was one of the questions as well. Like, you ramping up production, it was because of the pandemic. You saw some certain things. How is that going hand in hand with you having artists? Because, you know, I had Cody Manson on here before. Amazing rapper, you know what I mean? Great entertainer as well. And you signed him, but you still out there. Like, you just put out like 2 albums this past year. You're gonna drop another one this year?
Way more than that and shit. Okay, so we did Deadly Drug came out and shit. That was the tour that got pulled fucking due to the pandemic. So we dropped a new Triple MFD with Insane Poetry. Then I took 2 fucking solo albums and crammed them into one. So with the oldest, technically 2 albums and shit that were supposed to be separate. But I was like, you know what? I always wanted to do a double album and shit. Like, you know, Isham did that, Tupac did that. That era is over and shit. Artists are fucking doing 10-track albums and shit. So I was like, yo, I'm gonna give them a 35-song double disc. So So I dropped Triple MFD Deadly Drug. I did fucking the double album and shit. Fucking so that's 3 albums last year and shit. The same time we recorded another project with one of our major fucking LSP artists and shit that we will be announcing fucking at Gorefest this year. But that album is done. Then we went to the studio and shit and we recorded fucking another Deadly Drug Volume 2, the Overdose fucking with Insane Poetry. That album is completed, ready to go. We're just fucking sandbagging it till we can tour it because we always toured every Triple MFD release. So the fact that fucking they canceled our tour, we're like, yo, we're gonna have another album ready. So when we tour, we're not touring an album that's a year and a half old. We're gonna tour a fucking brand new album and shit, but we're gonna do songs off the one we didn't get to perform. So we knocked that motherfucker out and shit. Then I started the Dying World Chronicles and shit, which is a fucking 3-album trilogy. So I knocked out Gray Skies. That came out in February. Red Grounds came out fucking the day this tour kicked off, and Black Souls is dropping fucking November or December of this year. That one is completed too.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, though. That's what I'm talking about, though. You getting to work. Did you just get inspired out of nowhere? It was just like the pandemic shit just inspired you?
That was the choices. Get a 9 to 5 or fucking do way more music than I ever done. Like I said, I did 100 songs in 10 months. Out of them, 70 were features. Fucking at the same time, I'm like, I was just, what I'm saying? You treat a studio like a job, man. Like sometimes you don't have to be inspired to work and shit. If you're a fucking musician, that's your job. You pull up, you're like, all right, cool. I got 8 hours in the lab. I can sit there and hold my dick and look at this fucking notepad, or I can fucking make a song. And most of the time you make a song. And you do the same thing the next day and the same thing the next day and shit. Like in February, we're supposed to be re-releasing fucking From Russia with Hate remastered, which is 03 fucking demo that we did. It's all Russian or Russian and English and shit songs. Well, it never came out on pro CDs. We did those at Kinko's and shit. Fucking like back then, fucking there was no Spotify in Russian. Russian fan base wasn't that big, but I'm bilingual, so I wanted to do something in my native tongue. But we're putting like 15 bonus tracks on that bitch and shit, some exclusive shit, some shit from over the years. So it's gonna, instead of being like a 5-song demo and shit, it's gonna be a fucking 21-song album. And we're putting that out and shit, just so, paying homage to my heritage and shit. So all of that shit is going to be in Russian or bilingual shit. And then I'm going to probably start on another trilogy and shit, because there's a whole fucking concept behind. I want to do 2 trilogies and then I can switch back to like individual concept albums and shit. And there's going to be a reason behind this madness that we'll reveal at the end of it.
Okay. No doubt. So you mentioned that you own the Roxy.
Half own. So I own half the Roxy. I own a piece of the Mesa Theater. But like I said, that's more. The reason we got into fucking even running a venue and shit is because we kept getting banned from everywhere. Like in Denver, I would say we're banned from about 75% of the venues and shit. Motherfuckers were like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You're a pretty nice fucking human being, but your fans don't know how to act right. Your music is fucking horrible. We just don't want to fuck with you. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it got to the point where we're running out of places to play. And this place fucking was going under and shit. Fucking, they were having some licensing issues and money issues and shit. And they were like, yo, you want to buy it? And I'm like, never, I was throwing shows, but I never thought I would like actually be running a venue and shit. And we're like, fuck it, let's just try it and shit. So that's been, Roxy's had its 10th anniversary during the pandemic. So we're doing that. I try to do a little bit of everything.
What is that like for you though? Running a venue and being an artist yourself. So you have a booker. You have a booker that you work for?
My business partner is actually our main talent buyer and shit, Troll from Slow Pain and shit. He does most of the talent buying. I do fucking a lot of the licensing, accounting, taxes, all the behind the scenes shit. But sometimes, like when it comes to horrorcore, I might pick up a show here and there and shit for myself. But I feel that to run a venue, and it was a very drastic fucking change and shit. If anybody listening is interested into like, yo, I'm gonna open a venue. First off, you have to kill the fan in you. So like, I'm a big fan of this music and shit. I love this fucking music, but you have to start looking at shows, be like, yo, this motherfucker is not he's asking for way more money than he is gonna draw, or this motherfucker and shit. Like, I love his album, but he ripped me off for $5,000. Fuck this motherfucker. I'm gonna play frisbee with his album.
Right.
So you just, and you know what I'm saying, and they also say and shit, you know what I'm saying, be careful to meet your idols and shit, which is absolutely the truth. I met some of the artists I grew up looking up to and shit, and some of them were cool as fuck, and I still continue to look up to them. I've met some that I thought was fucking like demigods and shit, and I was like, yo, fuck this motherfucker. I want to hit him with a brick. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So
No, I definitely met my share too. I met some motherfuckers. It's like, look at, especially I was on Warp Tour, so I saw like there was everybody that I loved at that time in 2012. Everybody that I fucked with was in Warp Tour. Damn near everybody, and I'm
mhm.
like, this fucking like I just didn't like a lot of people just acting a certain way. Like yo, we could just all enjoy ourselves. We here to perform for the fans. Why
Well,
are we acting funny?
you have to respect the artists you play with, man. I always go out of the way to watch everybody's fucking performances and shit. Treat fucking, if an artist wants to take a fucking, you know what I'm saying? You pull up to a city you never played, a motherfucker ask you to take a picture with him and shit, or fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, chop it up for a second, listen to his song and shit. Do it, man. Don't be a fucking bitch about it and shit. Just do it,
Right,
because you never
right.
know and shit. Sometimes fucking those artists turn out to become somebody. I mean, I remember back in the day and shit, like our early fucking West Coast shows would go out there with Insane Poetry, and one of our local openers used to be Hobson. You know what I'm saying? Like, and fucking,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it was just a local nobody and shit. And fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, next thing you know, the motherfucker's touring the world, doing big things and shit. Like, you never know. And when you're like, well, this
Right.
motherfucker sucks, fuck him. Well, guess what? My old demos, if somebody fucking, if there was a time warp and shit, like a time hole, and fucking, I could send myself, because Lyrikal Snuff Productions got founded because we sucked. So we
Because you
sent out,
suck. Is that what you say?
absolutely,
Because you suck.
absolutely.
We put some shit out. No one liked it. Said, fuck it, we're gonna do it ourselves.
Correct, correct. So we fucking, we sent out, you know, we recorded our first shit. You don't understand, like, coming from the fucking era. I always tell motherfuckers when they claim to be old school and shit, you don't know this fucking motion and shit, you're not old school. Because that's the motion of rewinding your fucking tape and shit while you're fucking trying to push them in line, and you don't want to fucking
Right.
burn out the batteries on your Walkman as you're playing that shit for the homies in line trying to sell that shit. So,
Mm.
you know, fucking, when we started and shit, you know, we did the same thing everybody did, man. We sent our fucking demo to Psychopathic. We sent our demo to Psychological. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even think Strange Music was a thing back then and shit. But like, whoever was fucking doing things and shit, we sent our demos out, and we sat there fucking holding our dicks for about fucking, you know, 4 months. We're like, somebody's gonna fucking pick us up. Fuck no, they weren't gonna pick us up, because we were pretty fucking horrible. Well, after a while, we're like, yo, everybody's ghosting us and shit. Like, do we quit? Do we fucking, what do we do and shit? And at that point, Seville, who co-founded LSB, who was my brother and shit, rest in peace, you know, he was like, yo, let's just do this shit ourselves, man. Fuck these motherfuckers and shit. Like, they think we suck, but we can prove them wrong. And so, you know, we started doing our own thing and shit, and fucking, you know, then there was like, okay, we're just doing our own thing for a minute until we get better, and then somebody will sign us. And nowadays and shit, like, any one of those labels we used to send demos to and shit, if they send me a contract, I'm gonna wipe my ass with it and shit. I'm happy doing what the fuck I do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
LSD has fucking 110 releases and shit worldwide. Fucking, you know what I'm saying? There's thousands of people with the Saw and X tattoo. I'd feel I'd be backstabbing my own fans and shit if I fucking went and, you know what I'm saying, got down with the hatchet or something and shit, and fucking
Right.
let go of the Saw and X. And you know what I'm saying? Like, the cats fucking really believe in us and shit. And by now I'm like, that's that underdog Rocky shit, man. Like, you gotta fucking just stay in your lane and do your own thing. I respect Psychopathic, I respect MNE, I respect Strange Music. You know what I'm saying? Like, these motherfuckers all paid their dues, but I don't want to be on any of those labels. I'm happy where the fuck I am. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. So, let's see what I got here for you. I think that's about it, man. What's the future for Scum? What's the future for LSP? I know you said you already
Let's
got
see,
another trilogy set up. I know you're trying to do. I know you got shit for you, but what are you trying to do for the label as far
okay,
as like?
so I mean, it's two completely different fucking lanes and shit. So as far as myself, I got another album and shit to finish out this fucking Dying World Chronicles trilogy. We are going fucking to Canada. We rescheduled all those dates that were supposed to be on this tour that got canceled because the border didn't open. We're trying to fucking head to Europe. We're trying to head to Australia, trying to do a lot of overseas shit because I fuck with a lot of people out there. And I, you know, before I get too old for this shit, I want to see the world. A lot of
Right.
touring because I put out so much fucking music without being able to tour it and shit. Like, we're going to be on the road a lot. I mean, we finished this tour, I come back, fucking, I got a week, then we got Gorefest and shit, 3 days of fucking 15th annual Gorefest. Then the next weekend, we're in Oklahoma for Looney Fest. Then the next weekend, we're out in fucking Texas for Madness and Mayhem Fest. Then the next weekend, shit, we're going to St. Louis to make up some shit at Pops. Then we're going to Canada, and we're coming back, we're doing Unity Fest in Michigan and shit. Like, motherfuckers are working. Now, as far as the future for LSP and shit, I mean, of course, there's going to be albums dropping from our fucking heavy hitters and shit. You know, fucking Insane Poetry is going to do his thing and shit. Fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure Damien got some shit coming out. Small's got some shit coming out. Cody is fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so proud of fucking Cody and shit. That's the bright future of LSP. That's the next fucking generation of LSP and shit. And we're going to concentrate, we're going to get very active with this fucking experimental drug series, which is how we brought on Cody Menson. So basically the concept behind experimental drugs is we're going to take artists that we believe in. Well, LSP is a small independent label. Let's be real and shit. Fucking, like, our staff is fucking, you know what I'm saying, can probably fit inside one van.
Right.
So I can't keep signing motherfuckers and shit. And it just, we're going to run into the point when either we're not taking care of our artists or I fucking work myself to death and blow my brains out. So what we're going to start doing is we're going to start doing one album contracts and shit for a lot of these artists we believe in, but we just don't have no room on the roster and shit. And we just try them out. Be like, hey, here's a 12-month, one album contract and shit. Here's some product. Here's some label backing. Kind of like back in the day and shit when they'd be like, Brother Lynch Hunk presents, or, you know what I'm saying, fucking Esham presents. And so it's the same thing, but like we're it's not a sub label. I don't believe in sub labels. It almost creates superiority complex and shit. Like, you know, hey, you're not cool enough to be on Psychopathic, but you can be on Hatchet House. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking, no, it's a one album contract, but you have the same exact fucking contract as everybody on the label, as myself. Because I take pride. That's one thing and shit. Like, without, obviously, we're not going to discuss fucking and air out motherfuckers' contracts, but everybody on LSP has the same exact split, same percentages, same terms as the artists that were there from day one to the newest artists we sign. So if a motherfucker's like, yo, this motherfucker's eating better than I am, well, that's because he's working harder. Because you get the same exact fucking terms and shit as he does. So if he's eating and you're not, that means you need to step your game up.
Right. I'm not gonna point out. I'm not gonna say no names, but you notice that there's a lot of people, like especially a lot of those underground labels. They just like they favor their main artists, and then they just like, all right, the other artists you can get like the scraps. You can get like whatever's left. You could get that.
Right.
But we're never gonna push you as much as we push them.
I believe in giving everybody the same box of crayons and letting them draw their own fucking picture and shit. No, the label is not gonna hold your hand and shit and fucking, you know, set up tours and fucking everything for you if you're not working. But if you're fucking working, like Cody is a prime example. Motherfuckers working and shit, fucking put out 3 releases, did a fucking tour and shit, is out there fucking rocking gatherings and fucking Gorefest and all of that and shit. And we're talking in 6 months. So the opportunities are there. You have the same fucking, you know what I'm saying, like I said, same box of crayons, same fucking piece of paper and shit. What you draw with it is on you. But then there's no fucking, nobody feels unfair and shit. Fucking, it's strictly based on work ethic and shit and productivity. Everybody has the same exact opportunities and shit. And we're just going to start. So we're going to start putting out more artists under experimental drugs to put the shine on fucking them. And just, it's kind of going to be the opposite of what the label stands for. Like originally, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't stand when a motherfucker would come in and shit and fucking try to use us as a stepping stone to fucking go get them a Psychopathic or a knee deal and shit. And I'd be like, yeah, fuck you and shit. Like, you know, don't come here unless you're down for life. Well, with experimental drugs, it's going to be kind of the opposite and shit. Like, I'm like, here, we'll be your stepping stone. Rep the label, give us a dope album and shit. Fucking, we'll put the spotlight on you, and then keep doing your own thing and shit. And fucking, maybe you'll look back and be like, thanks, LSP and shit. You motherfuckers helped me. You know, I want to give more underground artists exposure. My firm belief, like, I'm maybe, you know what I'm saying, maybe I can squeeze out another 10 years of this shit. It's a very unhealthy lifestyle. I'm not a very healthy fucking person and shit. I party hard. Fucking, I don't believe in half-assing performances and shit. So like, if I can't fucking hop around on stage and go crazy and shit, I'm gonna quit. Because I like I said earlier in the interview, I'm an entertainer. So if I can't entertain, then I'll, you know, I might do an album here and there, but I'm not gonna tour. But at the same time, I've given more than half my life to this movement. I have an obligation to the thousands of people and shit fucking repping this shit worldwide, fucking tattooed up and shit, motherfuckers with face tattoos of LSP and shit, fucking neck tattoos, fucking, you know what I'm saying, forehead tattoos. So I want the movement to keep going way after I can't rap. When I, you know what I'm saying, or can't tour, you know, so I'm gonna keep signing younger artists and shit. It might fucking evolve. LSP is really not a horrorcore label. I'm a horrorcore artist. LSP is an underground, an aggressive underground music label.
Because that's kind of like the confusion I had with you. I was like, like, because for me, like, I rap about real life shit. I rap about my life. But like a lot of these labels, especially underground, they mostly seem like they're horrorcore labels.
We're not a horrorcore label. We have horrorcore artists on our label. Insane Poetry, the motherfucker's horrorcore. I'm horrorcore. You know what I'm saying? Smalls One is horrorcore. You know what I'm saying? The shit that Damien does with Cult Activity and, you know what I'm saying, what he did with Dark Half is absolutely horrorcore. But at the same time, I don't consider Cody Manson a horrorcore. I never considered Leaders of the Lost horrorcore and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't consider fucking Class horrorcore. Fucking, to me, if you do music and shit and it's aggressive and it's good music, obviously we do specialize in aggressive music. I probably won't sign an artist that fucking does pop music and shit and sings about
Right.
fucking, you know what I'm saying, like, I want to eat your pussy for Jesus. It's just not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like,
why not for Jesus though, Scum? Come on, it's for Jesus.
Bro, because then I'll never be able to fucking talk shit to that artist while I'm burning in hell. They're over there kicking it with Jesus and shit, talking about all the pussy they ate. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm just saying, like, as far as fucking music though, music is music, bro. I might fuck around and sign a fucking metal band. I might fuck around and shit and sign fucking like some aggressive young trap shit. I want the movement to keep growing, and I don't know what the movement is gonna evolve into and shit. Like, fucking maybe motherfuckers will be listening to fucking, you know what I'm saying, horrorcore dubstep or fucking, you know what I'm saying, satanic fucking hard rock. I don't know and shit. You know, it's gonna be something. But whatever it is, I want to be a part of it. I want LSP to fucking continue at least for as long as I'm alive, and hopefully fucking past that and shit, man. Like, I just want to give underground artists that major labels won't sign, because they're not, we don't do commercial music. So like, I want to be able to fucking give a platform to artists and shit that fucking are passionate about this shit, and they don't have to be horrorcore. One of the biggest mistakes some of our past signees made is when we would sign like an aggressive East Coast hardcore rap group, and they'd be like, oh shit, we're on LSP now, we have to make a horrorcore album. It would seem fake because that's not what they do. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to change your style. Like, I signed you because I liked your fucking past shit. If I liked your past shit and it wasn't horrorcore, don't try to become horrorcore because fucking the top sellers on this label are horrorcore. Go do your own lane and shit, impress them. We just give you the tools, and whatever the fuck you do with them and shit is on you.
No doubt. Yo, Scum, thank you for coming through, man. I appreciate you. I know we had trouble. We had 2 days to try to get this shit together.
Bro, internet, car wrecks, dead bodies, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is and shit, but we overcome it. I'm gonna head back inside and shit. We got a show to run. I do have to watch the people that are fucking, you know what I'm saying, over there supporting us and shit. But I appreciate you having me on the podcast. Big shout out, Street Shamans and shit.
Hold on, Scum. Let them know where they can find you. Let them know where they can find you.
Oh shit, gorehop.com and shit. Fucking the entire fucking label is on worldwideweb.gorehop.com. Socials and shit. Facebook and Instagram is both Scum LSP. If you want to reach me directly, hit me on Instagram. The label runs Facebook because Facebook censors. I don't believe in censorship. So hit me on there and shit. If somebody's interested in bookings or collabs and shit, hit me up at scum412@hotmail.com. Yes, I still have a Hotmail. I'm fucking old.
Hotmail? Damn.
You know what I'm saying? But get at us and shit and fucking, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to thank you too, man. Like, you're doing your part. People don't understand that without homies doing podcasts, interviews, producers, merch guys, promoters, fucking, you know what I'm saying, sound guys, like, underground is a big entity, and it requires every single one of us. Not everybody has to fucking, you know what I'm saying, hold a mic and jump around on stage and shit. Like, I know you also do art, and you know what I'm saying, you are a musician, but literally, like me running a concert hall, I might pick up a horrorcore fucking tour that nobody else in Denver will pick up, and I might fucking break even on it, but I'm gonna do it and shit just because I love the fucking scene. So that's what we do.
Well,
so thank you for doing your part.
Well said. That was well said. Thank you, man. Thanks everybody for the time and attention in the chat. Thanks everybody that left a little chat. Thanks for my donators. Thanks to anybody that's going to check this out later. Thanks to all the Street Shamans. Thank you for your time and attention. This is the Street Shaman Podcast. Shamanic Poe, aka Poe and the Rockstar, with the homie Scum. And we out of here, motherfucker.